results, that is financial accounts, and the estimated annual budgets and financial audits. Number 9 is to discuss, validate, and revise the annual work program and budget of PAFO. And number 10 is to proceed with the recruitment and assessment of the Chief Executive Officer of PAFO. These are the prerogatives that have been assigned to the board. Now, the president also has prerogatives. Number 1 is to represent PAFO with third parties. Number 2 is to sign commitment of PAFO upon the advice of the board. That is, we have MOUs, we have some other commitments that PAFO made, so the president has signed on behalf of the board. Number 3 is to coordinate work between different institutions of PAFO. The one that coordinates between the secretariat of PAFO and different members of PAFO. Convene the statutory meetings of PAFO. That's number 4. Number 5 is to coordinate with members about the place of holding meetings to ensure good organization. Number 6 is to appoint staff and experts attached to the executive secretariat upon the proposal of the Chief Executive Officer. And number 7 is to present financial results and audit reports to the PAFO General Assembly. So it's the president that have those prerogatives. The final one is the Chief Executive Officer and the Secretariat. The prerogative of the Chief Executive Officer and the Secretariat as follows. Number 1 is responsible and is accountable to the board under the supervision of the president. And it supervises and is responsible for the day-to-day affairs of PAFO. Number 3, follow the administrative and financial procedures in accordance with the manual of administrative and financial procedures of PAFO. Number 4, ensure financial resources management and asset of PAFO. Number 5 is support the PAFO president for mobilization of the necessary resources for the functioning of the organization. Number 6 is to ensure preparation of the annual budget forecast and the implementation of the approved budgets. Number 7 is to ensure the preparation of annual programs of PAFO and their implementation. Number 8 is to organize, prepare, and make available to the General Assembly and the board all documents necessary for the holding of the statutory meetings. Number 9 is to ensure holding of statutory meetings minutes. Number 10 is to ensure the preparation and organization of formal and informal meetings decided by the board. Number 11 is to study the various technical problems submitted by the board. Number 12 is to propose solutions to the problem faced by the members in the exercise of their activities within PAFO. And number 13 is to support the president in the management of its representation and communication of PAFO. Number 14 is to ensure the protection and conservation of PAFO archives. So these are the governing structures of PAFO and their responsibilities and their prerogatives. And let's look at the composition of the governance bodies. The ordinary and extraordinary general assemblies. The number of delegates is at least 10 delegates per ordinary member. That's at least, so it could be more, depending on the resources that is available to hold such meetings. Number 2 is the number can be extended and approved by the board in case of financial mobilization. Number 3, the number of delegates for each member must be composed of at least 30% of women and 20% of youth. The quorum is not defined in relation to the number of delegates, but compared to ordinary members of PAFO. The board. Each ordinary member is represented on the board by its president or its representative, and a member of its secretariat. Representatives of rural women and youth farmers are ex-official members of the board. They are part of the board, but they are ex-official members of the board. So now the General Assembly or quorum also, and the board of PAFO can only validly deliberate if a quorum is present. The quorum is considered to be reached when the number of the present ordinary members is at least equal to the integer number equal to or immediately above half the ordinary members of PAFO. What is we are saying here is at least we have 5 members of PAFO, at least 3 of them must be present for a quorum to be attained. If the quorum is not met, the president shall adjourn. He then convenes the assembly or the council for a new meeting to be held within a maximum of 1 month. The new meeting is no longer subject to compliance with the quorum. That is, if the quorum is not formed, then the president will convene a new meeting where now the quorum is no longer necessary. The general provisions to vote and election. These provisions concern the votes and election in the powerful general assemblies and boards. The members of PAFO undertake to enforce the consensus for any decision or recommendation by the general assemblies and boards. In the impossibility of consensus, the use of the procedure of voting is compulsory. That is, decisions are taken by consensus, but in case the consensus is not attained and it's not possible, then the matter is put to vote. Only the ordinary members of PAFO and representatives of rural women and youth have the right to vote and be elected.
Gouvernance au sein de la PAFO et les rôles des différentes structures telles que le président, l'Assemblée générale, le conseil d'administration, le CEO. Donc, c'est vraiment une expérience très réussie pour cette organisation qui qu'on peut dire qu'elle est un peu jeune. Donc, je vous remercie pour cette présentation. Maintenant, j'invite Monsieur Drem Toutkoul, le coordinateur régional de la PROPAC, qui est avec nous, qui pourra peut-être nous ajouter des idées et des informations sur la gouvernance dans leur organisation régionale. Monsieur Drem. Bon, je vois Monsieur Drem qui est connecté avec nous. Monsieur Drem, peut-être que le micro est fermé. En attendant l'action de Monsieur Drem, je vous invite.
Drem, I would like to invite you to ask questions if you already have questions concerning the presentation that Dr. Babafemi has done. If you have questions to ask in terms of the structure and governance of PAFO, do not hesitate. The floor is yours.
Monsieur Drem.
So Mr. Drem, can you hear us? I don't think that he's with us. He's not no longer with us. Zuberi, can you confirm? So if there are questions, I'm here because I already have another meeting immediately. So thank you very much.
D'accord, ok, parfait.
So good morning, good afternoon. And so thank you, Dr. Babafemi, for the presentation and also for the presentation that you have done. And so thank you very much for being with us in this meeting. So thank you very much, Raja. Thank you too. And so, Drem, the floor is yours. As I have already said, you're going to present an idea on the structure and governance within your organization because you have an experience that is very rich within your organization. So the floor is yours. So thank you very much, Raja. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm really sorry for the internet problem. And we have a problem with connectivity, and I hope that it will allow me to present. And so thank you very much, Babafemi, for the presentation that has been rich that you have shared with us. And that is on PAFO's experience. I'm going to talk about the experience of PROPAC. And before that, I would like to remind us that we work a lot on governance. And so governance is actually all the rules and practices that ensures the optimal operation of the organization with all the organs, that is including the decisional making organs. And so this is to ensure control. And so that is what Babafemi has presented. And so that is what we call governance. That is the structuring, the AGM, and also the board. We also have the CEO and also the different responsibilities and roles. And so leadership is actually on the capacity of the individuals in order to lead other individuals in order to achieve the objectives of the organization. And so a leader is someone who is able, who has the capacity to influence, who has the capability to inspire. And so we could actually do a distinction between a leader and a manager, because a leader, and so the manager is someone who has capacity, and so it is not this person who is going to lead the organization to development. And so it is the leader who is the bearer of the vision, who guides the managers so that they are able to work to achieve the vision that the leader has. And so a good manager can also be a good leader. And so the two are not necessarily linked. And so a manager is not necessarily a leader. And so that is important to distinguish. And so we have talked about a leadership as an issue linked to policies. But today, leadership is also found in all the areas of the organization. And so within the farmer organizations, we have leaders because we have a vision, and we also have the mission that we have as an organization, and this is defined by the leaders. And so we count on the leadership for this. And so for the experience PROPAC in the issue of governance and leadership. In terms of governance, we have a structure as Pafo has said, we have an AGM which brings together, which is held every 4 years. We also have a board. And so we have and so we also have the CEO who executes the decisions of the board. And so the AGM, this is where decisions are undertaken. And so the board works on what PROPAC has to achieve. Sorry, that is the AGM. And so it brings together the members. And so the delegates are the ones who come up to the meeting and to think about the future of the organization. And once they have through with that, they actually give the mandate to the board to work. And so for the board, in terms of representation, they are the ones who do the management. They do the representation because they are the ones who represent PROPAC in the different in the various places. And so it is the board that negotiates the different partnerships, and they are in charge of the management of the organization. And so they meet twice a year. And they can also have an extraordinary meeting whenever need arises. And so an extraordinary meeting is organized on given this case. And so we have the regional coordinator. This is the person who is in charge of implementing the decisions. And so there are decisions that are undertaken. And so it is the regional coordinator who has the responsibility to execute the decisions that have been taken. And so this is the person who ensures the activities of PROPAC are undertaken, so that the activities are undertaken. And so the secretariat works in order to, with the members and also with the different parties, even with the partners. And so the person also manages the resources of the organization. And so the coordinator also writes the reports and also works on the general activities in order to work for the members on the grassroots. We also have another governance structure. This is a body that has 3 members, and the role is as an internal auditor in order to ensure that the resources of PROPAC are well managed, and to ensure that we do not have a bad use of resources. And so they submit a report to the board and giving recommendations that are applicable. And so we also have other structures like the Academy of Presidents, which has the former presidents of the organization. And so this is an advisory committee in terms of the organization of that is the management of the organization. And so whenever in situations where the organization finds itself in a situation they did not foresee, and so they give proposals or help in making decisions And so they contribute to the good management of the organizations. And so this helps in the management of the organization. We also have the women college. And so this takes care of the women and the youth. And so they meet in order to discuss the management at that level. And so that though we also have the members of PROPAC are the national farmer organizations, and so they are the ones who help in managing the activities, and they also ensure that we respect the mission, because the members are actually they pay, and so they are in charge of the management, ensuring that the organization works for the farmers. And so they also ensure that they pay membership fee. And so each member of PRAPAC is actually an ambassador who defends the interests of PROPAC. And so the organization is there, and with the support of people. And so we have a board. At the board level, we have the president who represents PROPAC, and also ensuring that decisions are made, and also in terms of the governance. And so the president can delegate to a board member, but basically it is the president who is in charge of the board and who ensures that the expenses are done as planned for. And so the president is also the one who approves the expenses. And so the president has a role to ensure that all the organs work in harmony. And also the president supervises the work that is done by the regional coordinator. And so whenever we have staff, we have the coordinator, we have the finance manager, we have the ones who are in charge of programs, and also all the other departments. And so the personnel, their roles are well defined in the procedure manual. And so everyone works by sticking to what has been prescribed in the procedure manual and as defined by the procedure manual. And so that is briefly the summary of the experience of PROPAC. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer to the questions that you have. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Mr. Drem, for this presentation that you have made, which, how would I put it, which is actually detailed, and also on the different levels, that is the definition, and also the terminologies that you are using in the governance and leadership structure of your organization. And so PROPAC has always good experiences. And so you also have a structure that is very well structured and which is efficient. And so I would like to give the floor to participants in case you have any questions. So I'd like to give you the floor if you have questions for Mr. Drem. If you have questions and all that, you are free and the floor is yours. Or if you would like to also present the experience of your organization in terms of governance and leadership, the floor is yours. You're welcome. And so this is a place where we exchange experiences at the national level and also at the regional level. So the floor is yours. For any intervention, your reaction based on the presentation that Mr. Drem has done, or if you have additions to make on the presentations that have already been done. Do we have any questions, any feedback concerning the presentation that Mr. Drem has done? And so thank you very much, Mr. Drem, for the presentation that you have done, for being available to do the presentation, and also thank you for the availability, especially of PROPAC to share experience in this forum. And so for now, we are going to go to the next activity, the second part of our session. And so we are going to work on we are going to go to the breakout rooms, and we are going to have 3 groups. And so we are going to be in 3 groups. And in order to respond to the questions that the questions that have been asked in the agenda, and so Zuberi, you can share that. And so the questions are based on the expectations and also the interventions that have been done. And so we have 2 questions that are going to be answered. The first question is, what are the strategies for clarifying roles that guarantee transparency, integrated management, and also the collaborative culture? And the second question is, what are the succession plans in order to ensure effective continuity of leadership, fair representation, and also inclusive decision making? So we are all farmer organizations, and you could be members or staff of a farmer organization. And so we would like to get inspired by the experiences that you have within your farmer organizations. And so we are going to be in 3 groups: a Francophone group, an Anglophone group, and a group that is bilingual. And so the Francophone group are going to answer the first question. So the first group, that is the Francophone group, are going to respond to the first question. The English group are going to respond to the second question. And so the questions are going to be shared on chat. And so the bilingual group will have the opportunity to choose the question that they are going to answer. That could be the first or the second question. And so, as you have already seen, we are going to have in each breakout room a moderator and also a rapporteur. So you are going to decide among yourself who is going to be the moderator and who is going to be the rapporteur of the group. And so you will have 30 minutes to discuss. And so I would like to request our colleague to create the group, and so you are going to select the group where you are going to work. And so for me, I will be in the bilingual group maybe. So do you have questions, or maybe their instructions are clear?
Donc, merci Zoubiri de partager les groupes.
So thank you very much, Zuberi, for creating the groups for the participants.
Vous êtes invités, s'il vous plaît, à rejoindre
So you are requested to join the groups. The Francophone group is answering the first question, and the Anglophone group is answering the second question, and the bilingual group is going to select the question that they are going to answer. I mean, the question that they are going to answer.